As you know, in today's world we can learn anything. The internet is an enormous library of books, articles and apps. However, not every learning curve is the same, and not every subject should be approached the same way. That's exactly why I want to share my various learning experiences. Keep in mind that I'm not an expert and this is just what works for me. And with that said, welcome to the second episode of How to Learn Anything: Programming. Learning computer programming for me was a bumpy road. I started when I went to high school because we had a computer science class there. And I had thought that I'm going to be just fine with learning it during school hours. Well, it turned out that our teacher was incredibly demanding and wasn't teaching us anything. So after struggling for 2 months, in November and December of 2017, I gave it my all. I still remember finishing a programming exercise at 10 PM, a day before Christmas Eve. It was rough, but very rewarding actually. So today I want to share with you the 3 biggest lessons I got from learning how to code. I'm still practicing it and expanding my knowledge, so I won't limit myself just to the first few months. Let's start. As I've said before, it wasn't until I fully committed to learning everything on my own till I started seeing a lot of progress. So that's my first piece of advice that can be applied to learning pretty much anything. Sit down and commit to finishing today. Finishing an exercise, finishing a project, finishing a book or finishing a course. If you know that this is what you want to learn, or you have to do it in order to get your dream job, tell yourself, I will not stop until I complete this lesson. This basically eliminated all my excuses and made me super focused on the task. Even if you're not in love with whatever it is you're learning, telling yourself that gives you strength and motivation to not give up. I guess you may be thinking that you're not enough, that you don't have the mental capacity for completing that exercise or that project today. But what I realized back in 2017 is that we are enough. We are capable of way more than we think. So sit down and commit to it. However, this doesn't mean that you should lock yourself in a poorly lit basement without an internet connection. Other people who understand the subject better than you do, for example, they learned programming in middle school, can be a tremendous help during your pursuits. I recommend having a few people who are willing to support you at any time. Then, if it feels like you've been stuck for 2 hours and you're beating your head against the wall, just message them, describing your problem and kindly asking for help. My friends helped me a lot during the first months of programming, and to this day I can still ask them for help, now in more advanced coding exercises, and I'm learning a lot from them every week. It feels like we've grown together. But still, nobody is going to inject knowledge into your head with a syringe. You always have to come to your own conclusions. But what I found is that we are often closer to the finish line than we think. When I'm programming, making a website, editing a video or reading, it can sometimes feel like I will never finish. However, the answer, the conclusion or the stroke of genius is often right there. I found that if you're feeling lost, it's important to take a quick break. You can walk around a bit, talk to somebody, open a window or watch a YouTube video. It basically allows your mind to relax a bit, get out of a rut and process everything you've been doing. After a few minutes, you should come back to your task with newfound energy. One method that can help you is the Pomodoro technique. Basically, working for 25 minutes and taking a 5-minute break and repeating the cycle. Personally, I've never tried it, but I've heard that it can be very beneficial for your focus, so you can do some research on it. So yeah, I'm not trying to teach you any particular programming language in this video. There are so many resources on YouTube, Udemy and different websites that I think we need to learn how to learn. And we don't need the same content being taught by different people. I'll leave some great sources in the description. I encourage you to be conscious of situations in which you can apply my tips for learning programming and anything else, of course. I stand by them and I hope they'll improve your learning experience as well. So, if my advice works, I thank you for watching.